Welcome to Marble Mind. Here, we forge an unshakable spirit in the fire of ancient wisdom. Laziness is not a lack of energy. It is a parasitic infection of the soul. It is the silent decay that turns a mountain of potential into a pile of gray ash. Look at your life and be honest. How many versions of yourself have died while you were waiting for the perfect mood to begin? How many empires could you have built in the hours you sacrificed to the altar of comfort? Most men do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they have become addicted to the soft path. They have allowed the animal within to dictate the terms of their existence. And that animal only wants to sleep, to feed, and to hide from the wind. But the wind is exactly where the greatness lives. In this session, we are going to perform an autopsy on your lethargy. We will use the cold blade of stoic logic to excise the rot. We will study the life of Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who stayed in the freezing mud of the Germanic frontiers for years, not because he had to, but because he chose the pain of duty over the luxury of Rome. We will learn from Epictetus, who taught that the purpose of a man is to be a war horse of the reason, not a pampered pet of the senses. This is not about productivity hacks. This is about self-execution. We are here to kill the version of you that makes excuses. We are here to replace your fragile want with a steel must. You will learn that pain is not the enemy. It is the signal that the work has finally begun. If you are looking for a gentle voice to tell you it's okay to rest, you have walked into the wrong temple. Here, we value the burn, we honor the struggle, and we demand the impossible. Prepare to face the truth of your own inertia. The fire is ready, the hammer is raised, and the ghost of the emperor is watching. Let us begin the slaughter of your laziness. Before you can kill the enemy, you must understand his nature. Laziness is the default setting of your biological machine. Your brain is a relic of a primitive age, programmed to conserve calories and avoid unnecessary friction. It does not care about your legacy. It does not care about your success. It only cares about your survival. And in the modern world, where food is cheap and comfort is everywhere, your brain has become your own worst jailer. It interprets the pain of effort as a threat to your life, and it will scream at you to stop, to lie down, to wait. Marcus Aurelius understood this biological treachery. He spent his mornings arguing with his own nervous system. He knew that every time he felt the pull of the warm bed, it was the animal trying to reclaim the throne. He wrote, "Is this then what I was made for? To lie comfortably under the blankets? But this is more pleasant. Were you then made for pleasure and not for action?" He realized that to be a man, you must be in a state of constant war with your own comfort. Most of you have become slaves to your dopamine receptors. You are waiting for a spark of motivation before you act. This is the mark of a subordinate spirit. A titan does not wait for a spark. He becomes the fire. Motivation is a chemical fluke, but discipline is a moral choice. If you only work when you feel like it, you are not a master of yourself. You are a servant to your chemistry. Practice the doctrine of friction. Every time your mind says later, you must hear never. Every time your body says rest, you must hear rot. You must begin to see comfort as a form of slow-motion suicide. When you sit on a sofa for hours, you are not relaxing. You are practicing your own funeral. The Stoics called this prosochi, continual self-attention. You must stand as a sentry over your own impulses. The moment the laziness whispers, you must crush it with an immediate physical action. Do not argue, do not rationalize, just move. The animal brain cannot win an argument if you refuse to engage in it. To kill laziness, you must stop negotiating with your biology. You are not a creature of the mud. You are a fragment of the divine reason. And the reason does not need to feel like it to do its duty. The first step to freedom is the cold realization that your feelings are irrelevant. Only the act remains. The greatest lie laziness tells you is that you must conquer the entire mountain at once. It shows you the summit, hidden in the clouds, and whispers that the climb is too steep, that you lack the strength, that you should wait until you are ready. This is a strategic deception. Laziness wins by overwhelming your imagination. But the Stoic Titan fights a different war. He does not look at the summit. He looks at the single, solitary inch of ground directly beneath his boot. Marcus Aurelius taught the principle of action by segments. He wrote, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." This is the atomic strike. If the project feels too big, kill the project and focus on the first minute. If the workout feels impossible, focus only on tying your shoes. The goal is not to finish. The goal is to break the stillness. Inertia is a physical law of the universe. A body at rest tends to stay at rest until an external force is applied. In your life, you must be that force. Once the first atom of action is moved, the spell of laziness is broken. The heavy stone of your resistance begins to roll, and soon, what was painful effort becomes unstoppable momentum. Practical advice. Use the 5-second rule of the forge. The moment you realize you are procrastinating, you have 5 seconds to move your physical body. Before the excuses can form, before the logic of the lizard brain can settle in, you must stand up, open the book, or lift the weight. You are not asking for permission from your mind. You are giving a command to your muscles. Laziness is a shadow, and a shadow cannot survive a single spark of light. Do not plan for the year. Do not even plan for the hour. Just own the next 10 seconds. If you can win the next 10 seconds, you can win the day. And if you can win the day, you can win a lifetime. The Titan is built from the atoms of small, relentless victories. Most men view pain as a signal to stop. To the Stoic, pain is the signal that the transformation has begun. If the work does not hurt, if it does not burn your pride, if it does not exhaust your vanity, then it is not changing you. It is merely maintenance. To kill laziness, you must stop running from the fire and start walking into it. You must treat discomfort as a sacred sanctuary. Seneca said, "I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an antagonist." Laziness is the result of a life without friction. When everything is easy, the soul becomes flabby and translucent, like a fruit that has never seen the sun. To forge a marble mind, you must seek out the antagonist. You must make the hard choice because it is hard. This is the practice of voluntary hardship. Do not wait for life to challenge you. Challenge yourself. Take the cold path. Take the heavy load. Take the silence over the distraction. When you feel the burn of effort, whether it is physical or mental, say to yourself, "This is the sound of the old me dying." Welcome the pain as a guest that brings wisdom. Think of the training of the Spartan youth or the Roman legionary. They did not train until they were comfortable. They trained until they were numb to hardship. They knew that the man who has befriended pain can never be manipulated. He cannot be bribed with ease, and he cannot be threatened with labor. He is free. Practical exercise. Identify the one task you are avoiding because it is unpleasant, and do it first. Do it while you are tired. Do it while you are hungry. Do it specifically because you don't want to. By doing this, you are performing a ritual of spiritual hardening. You are telling your ego that its comfort means nothing to you. Pain is the price of admission to the ranks of the Titans. Laziness is the attempt to get in for free. But the universe does not take credit. You must pay in sweat. You must pay in focus. And you must pay in the sacrifice of your own ease. Stop seeking the painless path. It leads nowhere but the grave. Embrace the struggle and find the steel within. If this path resonates in your heart, become a part of our brotherhood. Subscribe to Marble Mind. Laziness is the ultimate expression of arrogance. It is the belief that you have time, that you are entitled to another decade, another year, another tomorrow. But the Stoic knows that time is not a river you can step into twice. It is a falling blade. Marcus Aurelius looked at his own mortality not to be depressed, but to be electrified. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If you knew that the sun setting today was the last sun you would ever see, would you spend your afternoon in a digital trance? Would you wait for the right mood to speak your truth or build your legacy? Of course not. You would move with a terrifying, laser-like intensity. You would be a titan of action, because the luxury of later would have been stripped away." Laziness is a form of temporal theft. You are stealing from your future self, leaving him a life of regret and weakness, because you were too cowardly to face the friction of the present. To kill the rot, you must invite the image of your own death into your room. Look at your hands and realize they will one day be bone. look at the clock and realize that every tick is a piece of your life that you can never buy back. Practical exercise, the deathbed audit. When you feel the pull of lethargy, project yourself forward to the final hour of your life. Look back at this exact moment. Will you be proud of the man who chose the sofa over the struggle? Or will you feel the cold, hollow ache of what if? The ghost of the man you could have been is the only judge that matters. Do not live as if you have 10,000 years. Death stands at your elbow. While you live, while it is in your power, be good, be active, be a titan. Stop acting like an immortal bystander and start acting like a man who knows his time is running out. The war against laziness is won or lost in the first 60 minutes of the day. This is what we call the dawn garrison. Marcus Aurelius famously struggled with the desire to stay in his warm bed, but he forced himself to rise because he realized that his comfort was a betrayal of his nature. If you surrender to the bed, you have lost the high ground of your own soul. And for the rest of the day, you will be fighting an uphill battle against your own mediocrity. To kill laziness, you must treat your morning not as a start, but as a military deployment. There is no snooze in the Stoic lexicon. The snooze button is a ritual of self-defeat, a way of saying, I am not ready to lead myself. A titan rises when the objective is set, not when the body feels rested. The ancient masters practiced praemunitio, the fortifying of the mind before the world could touch it. In the silence of the dawn, you prepare for the friction. You do not check your phone. You do not look at the news. You do not let the chaos of others into your sanctuary. You sit with the truth. You write in your journal. You acknowledge the pain of the coming work, and you accept it. Practical advice: the immediate engagement. Within 5 minutes of waking, you must perform a task that requires effort. It could be a cold plunge. It could be 50 push-ups. It could be the hardest mental task on your list. By doing the difficult thing first, you are performing a manual override of your laziness. You are signaling to your biology that the emperor is awake and the animal must obey. If you win the morning, you wear the day like a garment. If you lose the morning, the day wears you like a slave. Rise with the sun, or rise before it. But do not rise for comfort. Rise for duty. Rise for the stone. Rise because the world is waiting to see if you are a man of marble or a man of clay. Most men see work as a necessary evil, a burden to be endured so they can eventually reach rest. This is the mindset of a slave. To the Stoic and to the Titan, work is not what you do to get somewhere else. Work is the altar of character. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that even the sun, the plants, and the smallest insects fulfill their function without complaint. They do not ask for motivation. They simply are their duty. When you approach your task with laziness, you are insulting the nature of your own existence. You are saying that the gift of your consciousness, your hands, and your intellect is not worth the effort of using them. To kill laziness, you must stop looking for the result and start worshiping the process. Whether you are cleaning a floor or leading a company, do it with the precision of a master craftsman. Do it with mramorni razum. Practical advice: the sanctification of the task. Before you begin your work, pause for 10 seconds. Look at the tools in your hand, whether it is a keyboard or a hammer, and tell yourself, "This is my contribution to the cosmopolis. I will perform this act as if the eyes of the ancestors are upon me." When you turn your work into a ritual, laziness cannot survive, because you are no longer just working, you are manifesting your excellence. Do not work to finish, work to be. If you find yourself rushing to get it over with, you have already lost. Slow down, find the friction, and lean into it. The weight of the work is what makes you strong. The fire of the effort is what makes you bright. To a Titan, the day without labor is not a holiday. It is a day of spiritual decay. Laziness thrives on options. It lives in the gap between what you should do and what you could do. As long as your phone is in the room, as long as the bed is calling, as long as you have a plan B of comfort, you will eventually surrender. To defeat the animal within, you must act like the ancient generals who burned their own ships after landing on enemy shores. You must create an environment where retreat is impossible. Stoicism is not just about mental strength. It is about environmental warfare. You cannot rely on your willpower alone. It is a flickering candle in a hurricane. You must build a fortress of necessity. If you need to write, lock yourself in a room with nothing but paper and a pen. If you need to train, go to a place where there is no chair to sit on. Practical advice: the zero option protocol. Identify the escape hatches your laziness uses. Is it a specific website? Is it a certain person? Is it the presence of distractions? Physically remove the possibility of doing anything else but the task. When the mind realizes there is no escape, it stops fighting and starts working. It accepts the inevitable. Stop being fair to your weaknesses. You are at war with your own mediocrity, and in war, you do not give the enemy a fair chance. You trap him, you starve him, and you eliminate him. Surround yourself with the pressure of duty. Make commitments that you cannot break without public shame. Use the weight of responsibility as an anchor to keep you in the forge. When there is no alternative but the work becomes easy. It is the struggle of choosing that exhausts you. Remove the choice, and you will find the Titan. Most men stop when they are tired. The Titan stops only when the task is done. Laziness will wait for the moment your muscles ache or your mind fogs to whisper, "You have done enough. You deserve a break." This is the most dangerous lie, because it sounds like self-care. But the Stoic knows that the work you do after you are tired is the only work that actually builds the marble mind. Everything before that was just a warm-up. Marcus Aurelius lived in a state of chronic illness. He suffered from chest pains, insomnia, and the crushing weight of a dying empire. Yet he never used his exhaustion as an excuse to retreat. He understood that endurance is the supreme virtue. When you reach the limit of your strength, you are standing at the altar of the will. This is where you decide if you are a master of your body or its prisoner. Practical advice: the 5% rule. When your mind screams, "Stop," give the task 5% more. Write 10 more sentences. Do 5 more repetitions. Stay in the silence for 5 more minutes. In that extra mile, you are performing an exorcism of your laziness. You are proving that your reason has a reserve that the body cannot see. Your thought is important. Leave a short but meaningful comment under this video. Let it be your seal on today's lesson. Seneca looked at the idle rich of Rome with a mixture of pity and disgust. He saw men who spent their days in baths, at banquets, or in the soft sleep of the afternoon, and he called them the living dead. He wrote, "Vices are learned without a teacher, but virtue is a difficult trade." Laziness is not a neutral state. It is a regressive disease. If you are not actively climbing, you are sliding into the abyss of the mediocre. To the marble mind, idleness is not peace. It is shame. There is no dignity in a life that seeks only to minimize friction. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are for. They are built for the salt, the wind, and the crushing waves. You were built for the struggle, and every hour you spend in pointless leisure is a betrayal of the ancestors who bled to give you life. Practical exercise: the vigilance of the vices. Look at your comforts through the eyes of Seneca. Is that entertainment truly refreshing you, or is it just an anesthetic to help you forget your own insignificance? Stop calling your laziness rest. Rest is the reward for labor. If you have not labored, you are not resting. You are just rotting. You must develop a healthy hatred for your own lethargy. View your laziness as a thief that is stealing your potential. Treat it with the same hostility you would treat a man breaking into your home, because that is exactly what is happening. Laziness is stealing the crown from your head while you are distracted by shadows. Wake up and reclaim what is yours. The war against laziness is not a single battle. It is a lifelong siege. There is no point where you can say, "I have won," and finally lay down your arms. The moment you stop pushing, the rot begins to return. Laziness is like the tide. It is always waiting for a moment of weakness to wash away the foundations of your character. To be a titan, you must accept that the struggle is eternal. Marcus Aurelius did not seek an end to his burdens. He sought the strength to carry them until his final breath. He understood the eternal return, that every morning the same animal would wake up in his bed, and every morning he would have to kill it again. This is the secret of the marble mind. We do not seek to cure laziness. We seek to dominate it through the sheer force of repetition. Consistency is the only thing that turns a try into a character. Most men are flashes of lightning, bright for a second, then gone. You must be the sun, steady, relentless, and inevitable. Your discipline must become so dense, so heavy, that laziness no longer even tries to negotiate with you. It sees the momentum of your life and it retreats into the shadows. Do not look for a life hack to make it easy. Seek the discipline that makes you indifferent to the hardship. When the work becomes your identity, laziness loses its power. You no longer ask, "Should I do this?" You simply do it, because that is what a titan does. The law has been written in stone, and the stone does not negotiate with the wind. The hammer has fallen, the forge is cooling, and the animal within you is silent. We have stripped away the illusions of motivation. We have faced the biological reality of the slave, and we have reclaimed the high ground of the dawn. You have seen that laziness is not your nature. It is a choice to be soft in a world that demands steel. Go out into the world today and be the executioner of your own excuses. When the path divides between the easy and the hard, choose the hard. Not because you are a masochist, but because you are a sovereign. You choose the hard path to remind yourself that you are the one in control. The world is full of people who are waiting for the right time, waiting for the right mood, waiting for permission to be great. Do not wait for them. Leave them in the mud of their own later. You are a part of the marble mind now. You move with the weight of the centuries, and you work with the intensity of a man who knows he is mortal. The pain of discipline is a feather. The pain of regret is a mountain. Choose your burden wisely. Kill the laziness before it kills the man you were meant to be. Stay cold, stay focused, and dominate the day. This is Marble Mind.